Hey, what's up, YouTube? Hey, I just had a chance recently to take a look at this KO Motor and controller. A buddy at work happens to have a Sur Ron that he picked up used and just barely put this in. This battery is full stock, no bypass. And so when he's telling me about this and how crazy it is, I'm thinking, no way, not without a bypass. That controller should shut this down. The BMS will protect it. He let me have a ride, and I found that that's not true. I got on the bike immediately, was noticing a difference, and after 5 seconds I realized it was still in EP mode. I switched it over to sport, and the bike just wants to wheelie like all the time. Well, let me clarify. It wants to wheelie at lower RPMs, and he's got the mapping set in a way to where it has all this power up front, but backs off because since the battery is not bypassed, the BMS will shut it down if it's continuously pulling too much. He's had it shut down a couple times where it took 20 something seconds to even power back on. Here, as we're walking around the bike, you can see it's an older model, has the RST kilo forks on the front, which was very noticeable to me, by the way, riding it. I was immediately surprised that the quality of those forks was not the same as what I have with the KKEs. Looking at this battery, you can see the seal is still on there. It's not bypassed. Other than that, the bike was pretty much the same as mine. It did have a 54 tooth sprocket, but I don't think that makes the difference in that low end as much as what I was feeling. Here we can see my buddy Feathers riding it for the first time. He's got it in EP mode here just to make sure that, he gets used to this little torquey low end that comes around. Here he switches it over to sport mode, and I gave him plenty of cautious tips, and he went pretty easy on the throttle, backing off a bit just to get used to the bike. So as he turns around here, you can kind of maybe see some of the torque, a little bit of a just throttle, and you can see the front lifting, and he knows at this point, hey, it just wants to lift up, he says. So he takes it back down, still being a little careful, but you'll notice as he rounds this corner that he actually gives it a little bit more gas, and we can watch that front lift up as you saw in the intro. Kind of caught him off guard a little bit, and he was kind of getting a feel for that power. Now, he knows what power is. He has the beast. It comes up really quick in first, but he's rode my Sur Ron a few times, and it's not even close to the same. So I'm just trying to wrap my head around how the stock battery with no bypass can do this. And, I've been looking at the KO controller. I'm not necessarily interested in the motor yet, but I think that having a controller, getting a tune that would be similar to what you can get with the EBMX tune on a back 4000 or 8000 is something that I would be interested in. My buddy that has this bike basically told me that there is so many settings, and he is just barely scratching the surface of what he's going to do with this. So, you can look at this as the beginning stage of this bike particularly, but maybe we'll get him on a ride and I can get some more footage of the bike in action with better tunes. He had a tune that was like max settings, or what they would consider like the 72 volt MX setting, and it was way too much for him to handle. Like, he basically turned the throttle and it just snapped up and left him standing there holding the bike. But what I'm after is basically a controller and a bypass battery that has something that matches the EBMX 8.5 kilowatt tune, something that can be good for me off-road but customizable, and nothing that's super crazy. I'm not sure I need 12 kilowatt. I think that 8.5 should probably be fine, at least to start. And the nice thing about this KO controller is that you can customize it, and you don't have to send it back to have it programmed by somebody to do the difference. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this controller, or your opinions on that whole situation.